So she remember driving on the highway, and this is like morning rush hour Singapore. And she saw something jump out from the side of the highway, and she was going like 80, 90. And then the thing like just latched onto another car, and then it dropped off.
My name is Utt.
My name is Raihan.
My name is Wayne.
My name is Kyle.
And this is Tales from Incredible Tales, a show where we look back at the popular MediaCorp horror series.
The host of Incredible Tales throughout its 13 years is back with us again. Welcome back, Utt.
Hey.
Hi,
I am back.
Looking
And
good.
the Incredible Tales continues in my ears. Like in a different form. Tales from Incredible Tales.
So in every episode of Tales from Incredible Tales, we explore a different theme and how it ties back to the classic Incredible Tales show.
For this episode, we're looking at haunted roads. This episode's theme was inspired by Pan Island Expressway from season 1. A stretch of road that goes through the PIE underpass is a favorite bike route for a young group of cyclers. Riding through it at night poses more of a challenge than mere poor vision. The site is reportedly haunted. 3 boys brave the rumor and ride straight into the mouth of the underpass and discover that what's inside is more than just a simple rumor.
Let's take a look.
After when she said that, she actually pointed to a very dark hole or something like quite portal or something on the ground. And she kept saying in Mandarin that my grandson is buried there, please help me to dig him. Desmond told me that if he wasn't wrong, he swore he actually saw that the woman had no eyeballs at all.
Wow. Can I just say, I am so impressed that the guy ran faster than the 2 bikes.
Yes, and left the bike too. So now the auntie has a bike.
Oh, great. Now she can chase us a lot faster.
All right, Art, you actually filmed there, am I right?
I think I filmed everywhere in every corner. Yes, I filmed there.
How does it feel like to film at that spot?
I don't think I've felt anything strange at this particular spot. It's more like reflecting on the story itself. I've been in other spots in Singapore that's similar on my own. There was a period where I used to just go out to these really desolated, empty roads to longboard. So that's where, like, you know, outside of like the city, where sometimes like certain roads will feel like a bit more creepy than others and stuff like that.
Did you feel for that road?
Not particularly with the shoot. I didn't feel so much, but I do feel the essence of how particular junctions and intersections or bridges can have that feeling. Yeah.
Because the location that they filmed is where we actually, very near where we shot our first episode of this season, Bukit Brown Cemetery. So it's actually an underpass, a small underpass. And then right beside the underpass, both sides are the graves. But it's a nice place to shoot a long 2-way road. Then, of course, then you see an old auntie stealing bikes.
That's what she's going to be known as now, the auntie that steals your bikes.
No, but that's the effect that it has on me, because I remember watching that episode of Incredible Tales and committed that place to memory. So I've been there both day and night. Then I always get like the image of the auntie just staring at you. Then the camera pulls out. Then you see the long stretch of road and then the underpass. That always gave me the creeps. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed is not the right word, but I'm amazed that there's still so many, like you were saying, that you'll longboard out to all these like roads where they're in the middle of nowhere in Singapore. And I'm still quite impressed that there's so many of them in Singapore.
I'm really surprised that they exist.
Yeah.
And then with longboarding, for me, it's like it's just a different experience at night because there's a lot of history, a lot of energies at night. That particular spot, I mean, it's a very interesting spot because of the two cemeteries, and then you have a bridge, and that feng shui is just very, very interesting. It'd be interesting to get like a feng shui master take on it of the energies that revolve in that particular spot.
Yeah, I mean, like you look at feng shui and Chinese customs, right? Usually the spots for cemeteries are very good feng shui. That's why they bury, the ancestors and the dead there. Like particularly in Hong Kong. So some of the cemeteries are actually on the cliffside, overseeing a sea. So it's really nice thing. One of the first things that I did in Hong Kong was to visit a grave, like a cemetery, just to see. Because you always watch the Hong Kong films and then you're like, oh, this one, like the scene they shot, they're very nice. Then you see in real life that, holy, it just looks magnificent. I mean, you can imagine if the living was living there, that would be
So what are some infamously haunted roads that you've heard of before?
Well, for me, like in Thailand, and I know Kyle would probably agree to this. Well, we both agree to everything we talked about. I don't think we disagreed to anything so far. But when you see these huge trees or pillars, and you see the colorful cloth wraps around them, and all these offerings that's given to that particular space, you'll see like little little dolls and stuff. It depends on the pillar or the tree. Then these trees or these pillars are alongside roads. So automatically those roads are going to feel very haunted because like those pillars, like either if it's a pillar or if it's a tree, it's where most of the accidents happen. And they probably happen frequent enough for people who have lost their loved ones to go there to pay the respects. So then it builds up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like the lowest hanging fruit in Singapore is Old Tampines Road lah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the back way towards IKEA, is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I took a ride there once, not knowing the road was that road.
So it's like you can link it to Hougang also. So from Tampines to Hougang, you can cut through that space. So it has a lot of temples. There's like 7 or 10 temples around that range, all in that area. Just right next to Paya Lebar Air Base. The things are going to change once they move out because they're going to build houses there, right? But I remember in relation to what Art said, there's a big tree at the 3rd bus stop of Old Tampines Road. Because Old Tampines Road has about 4 bus stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the 3rd bus stop, there's a huge tree. They have the cloth around it. And also like there's a lot of fatal accidents that happen there actually. Yeah. So like what Art said like they tie the thing to appease the spirits or what. That very creepy road. It's very creepy road.
I used to pass by that road a lot when I was a kid because we used to live in Hougang, and my mom was we used to go to this sports club that was in Changi. And we always pass through there. So we go on during the day. And during the day, it's great because, you got lots of tall trees and, they form like a canopy. And it's like, ooh, we're going into the tree tunnel. It's nice and beautiful. And then if you're coming back at night, completely different story altogether. Just really dark. And there's street lights, but, they might as well not be there because it's so dark and so imposing in that place. And you're in a bus and you're like, it's fine, just don't look out the window.
Look
Hell no.
I love looking out the window.
To make matters worse, when I was young, the buses, a lot of them didn't have air conditioning. So the windows were wide open.
Oh, right, that one.
So I was like,
fun to me just content.
Your idea of fun and my idea of fun are very different.
Would you find it fun?
To just ride around in the bus? Yeah.
With a whole bunch of people, then it's okay. I mean, unless you're the only one on the top bunk, then it's a bit sketchy.
It could be a full bus. Nope, no thank you. I was looking at Carl because I thought to myself, like, if he's taking Old Tampines Road, I know exactly which road I'm going to be talking about.
Okay.
Karak Highway.
That one.
Yeah. in Malaysia. So I'm sure people know the story about, and I do like this has passed into urban legend already, where a young family are driving down the highway and the car starts having trouble, and the dad gets out. This is ages ago, no cell phone. Dad gets out, says, "I'm gonna go look for a phone to call for help." So he tells his wife to stay in the car with their infant son or the infant child, and he goes off to look for the phone or for help, and he doesn't come back for a while. So the mom, his wife, starts wondering, where is he? Police car pulls up beside their car, and the police officers just look at her and go, like gesturing for her to come to the car, and they keep telling her, "Don't look back, whatever you do." So she gets to the car, she gets to the police car, gets in with her infant child, and at a safe enough distance, she turns around and she sees on the roof of their car, Kakak devouring her husband. So that's the one that I've heard constantly about Karak Highway.
Yeah.
And the more we get into this, the more I realize there's like a ton of urban legends around Karak Highway as well.
There is a movie that was actually made out
Yes.
of
Karak. It's called Karak. Yeah.
Oh, is it? That's the title of the movie. Yeah, I still remember that scene. Oh, it's quite graphic.
I think roads are very interesting because when roads are being built, you don't know what it's being built on top of and like what history lies behind it.
Yeah.
My two personal situation with roads, we're both on an island, in different islands, one Phuket and one Samui. And the similarities is the experience of being on a motorbike and then feeling as if I'm in a deja vu mode. So it's like it just kept on going, but then it's like if I'm going to point A to point B, but then I'm passing by the same things, seeing the same things, maybe seeing the same people. Like you feel like for me it's like 5 minutes and then I'm like back into the original 5 minutes. So that's happened to me twice in Thailand, where it was kind of like it was being in the twilight zone. So obviously those roads are haunted for me to experience that.
I have a story that a friend shared. In fact, this friend is part of the crew here. So he shared that there is this road in Sembawang that's near to the beach. Okay, thanks for the thumbnail. No, so that road, right, is actually quite a weird kind of road. It leads to a very old mosque, right? Oh. Yeah, we lead to a very old mosque. Then all the way at the end is towards the beach. Then it is a roundabout. Then it cuts through a affluent estate. So there's a standing order because when you serve our nation in the national service, right, sometimes they have to patrol around there because the base is near there. For some reason, there's a standing order from the Incheck, basically the warrant officers. When you pass by a particular tree near the area, drive faster. Whatever you hear, whatever you smell, don't say anything.
Because I was there in the morning, and at that time I didn't know any of this story. I was like, oh, this is a nice place. I should bring my wife here, to just walk around and have some fresh air. So when I went back home and I said, hey, let's go to the area, then just by the beach. She'll say, no. Why? It's nice. It's the beach. No, not there. And I'm like, why? She grows up there, so she knows the stories behind it.
Yeah.
And then now I know that, until you told me that particular place has that story. So I'm like, okay,
Drive
nice.
faster.
Drive faster.
I like how drive faster.
And I was just walking around, strolling there at that point of time.
It's so romantic.
Nice.
So I'm not sure here if the belief is the same, and it's interesting because I don't see it being done as often anymore because the generation has changed. But before, when you would pass certain areas where you felt was haunted or like they had those pillars or the trees, it's like people would honk.
Wow.
You would honk to sort of not pay respects to the spirits, but kind of acknowledge the spirit. Yeah. But interestingly, I don't see it done as often now because I don't know, we're in a new generation, but the former generations, that's what they would do. When mopeds, motorcycles, cars pass by a particular spot, it'd be like honk, honk.
I can attest to that.
Really?
Yeah, because my parents work in F&B, so there's this place called Golden Mile Complex, which is the Little Thailand of Singapore, right? So it's a tradition, and apparently it's a Thai thing. I did ask my mom. So when they drive out from the car park, leaving Golden Mile Complex, then there's this four-faced Buddha. Apparently it's very revered this Buddha. That's just right by the road in front of Golden Mile Complex to bless the whole complex. Then every time people drive past there, they will honk once and then they will pray to the Buddha for blessing, to say hi to the Buddha or something lah. So I guess that's the thing that Thais do. It's also like, you say blessing to the whatever spirits is there. Oh, okay, I'm just passing through. I acknowledge you, I'm just passing through. That's it. Yeah.
I think this is interesting because if you were to ask me, by honking, it could mean that I might be disturbing their peace.
That's a very Singaporean.
That's what I thought as well. It's like, don't honk, don't wake them up.
Yeah,
keep
because
it quiet.
Singaporeans, they honk, that means you know what's up already. You went my way.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, it's a different perspective to things.
Yeah,
right?
agree. Because it's like what the warrant officers were saying about that one particular tree. Don't say just drive faster.
Yeah, just drive faster.
I always assume that that's what you would do, but it also does make sense that you want to honk. It's a sign of just, instead of ignoring you.
I think it's a sign of like you acknowledge, respect.
Yeah.
I'm going now.
Bye.
Yeah.
I just think that Asian people, right, Asian culture in large, right, it's like there's so much depth to an action.
Yeah.
Like it's not just a honk. It's like, I respect you. I acknowledge you just by one honk.
Just by
you
one
get
honk.
it.
One
Even the
honk.
spirit's like, yeah, I get it. Interesting.
Okay, so now we've spoken about roads, and certain roads are much more haunted as compared to other roads. So why do you think no one tried to cleanse these roads the way certain places or homes are cleansed?
I feel they are cleansed. I feel in certain places, like from my standpoint, from Thailand, I think a lot of times when things are being built, they do go through rituals. They feel it's important land or space to give the rituals. But then there are roads and places that are overseen, like overlooked, whereas things start to happen and then they happen again and again. And I do feel they do get cleansed, but then they become a center of energy of where situations happen over and over. And it's different from a home because it's like, it's roads, it's an open space.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's very hard to go cleanse such a vast amount of like, roads and streets and everything. So I think there's just so much that you can do.
Yeah, I agree to that. I mean, it's an open space. How much can you do? And because energies once an energy is there, probably it's going to attract more energies there. So hence, even though if it's cleansed, I think there's the remnants of the energy that could come in. Yeah.
I mean, like in Asia, generally the roads are very old. Right?
Oh yeah.
I think maybe the prayers were already done way past. The negotiations with the spirits that are there already done way past. But what is interesting is that because particularly for Singapore is such a dense country, and then we lack of land. So sometimes we build new roads, right? So in our first episode, we talked about Bukit Brown Cemetery, and just cutting through Bukit Brown Cemetery is a highway. Yeah. So I would like to think that there were negotiations done, not just the usual negotiations and the usual rituals. It's like double that, because you're essentially exhuming a whole bunch of graves, like few thousand graves, and then building a massive highway through it. So I thought that would be interesting because that's actually a new road. Yeah. In fact, a highway. Yeah. And then you're building over some of them also. Yeah. So can you imagine the amount of like prayers, the amount of like, spiritual advice that you need to do for that?
Yeah.
In the olden days, they would do it differently. If they had like superstitions, they would probably find people and just bury them alive to protect the areas.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, they did that back in.
It's like a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That practice probably isn't done anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope not.
I just wanted that reaction.
No, but
You're welcome.
it's similar to the Bridge Guardian that we talked about in
Yes,
last season,
right,
where
that's
we
right,
say that whenever we build a bridge, something would use the skull of young children to support the pillars of the bridge so that it will not collapse. So there were like conspiracy theories that certain bridges in Singapore were built that way.
Yeah.
So it's very paganistic kind of belief,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Would you say so, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's related to that sacrifice. I mean, do they willingly volunteer to be sacrificed, or
No,
they're forced to be sacrificed?
They're forced to.
I don't. I don't think anybody would like. I volunteer as tribute. Nobody would do that.
Oh my God, forced to sacrifice.
And for a road as well, you're like, it looks like a nice road. All right, I'll volunteer. No.
Wow.
Wow.
See, you get two reactions. So now.
I mean, this was, probably a practice that was done way, 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 way back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just depends on the beliefs and everything, because it's kind of like to counter the energies by sacrificing energies. So it's like if there's a whole ritual happening, it's like dependent on what they feel will fit the circumstance. Like what Kyle said, if they feel like finding children will fit the circumstance, then they probably would have children spirits to protect that bridge by sacrificing them. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, I know you've shared that you've had a fair share of experience on the road, the deja vu experience. What about maybe Wayne and Carl? Have you had any experience on the road?
Okay, not my personal experience but it happened recently after we produced season 1 of Incredible Tales. My sister is very sensitive. I'm sensitive, but my sister is way more sensitive. So she said that there was one period of time she kept seeing white shadows near her car. So she would pick up her child to go to the kindergarten in the mornings, and then she would see this particular shadow that's right at the corner of her car. So she remember driving on the highway, and this is like morning rush hour Singapore. And she saw something jump out from the side of the highway, and she was going like 80, 90. And then the thing like just latched onto another car, and then it dropped off on the road. And then she almost jammed the e-brake because she thought that it was an actual human being. But then she was like, no, this is not human. Like, this is trying to cause me accident. In the blink of an eye, and then she just drove through it, and then it just went through, translucent. So that was like creepy. Yeah.
Yourself?
The only one I can think of isn't really supernatural, but it was creepy. Was I was visiting a friend in Texas. This is way back in 1999.
Nice.
And we were driving through a suburban neighborhood, and again, there's street lights, but it's not particularly well lit. And you're driving, and we passed by, I remember it was a junction. And it's a very small junction because it's suburbs. And there was a guy just standing underneath one of the street lamps. And bear in mind, this is like 9 o'clock at night. And we're driving by, and he's just staring at us the whole time. Doesn't move, standing completely still, straight, but then just glaring at us as we drive by. And both of us were like, what was that? And I was like, I don't know, let's just keep going. Apparently around the same time, there was a killer roaming around Texas. I don't know.
Wow.
So
Could be one of those, yeah.
yeah, maybe the guy was just weird. Maybe it was something else. I don't know.
In
Maybe
America,
it wasn't real.
Yeah. God, that would be far worse.
I mean, in America, ghosts don't kill you, serial killers will.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah,
Nice
I agree
point.
on that. For myself, I've had a couple of, because I write, so especially if it's at night. So when you pass by certain areas, you will smell different types of scents.
Frangipani.
Yeah, so I've had frangipani, I've had stench. So one particular road that until today, if I pass by, it's very prominent, is right at the back of my mom's house. That alley there. So it's like a very small road. Once you head the gantry, open up, drive in, and then after that you will enter at the back. So there's a hill there, right? There's a hill, and then there's a small road there. Every time I walk, either I walk or I ride, there will be two smells: the frangipani or the stench, and it depends. It gets. Initially when I was younger, of course I get scared, but now that I am slightly older, I'm like, I'm a regular here, resident here, so I think you know me by now lah. But yeah, I'm pretty sure riders will have this experience themselves.
It's weirdly quite sweet that they recognize you and then they're just like, yeah, okay.
Alright, so this question is for everyone. Would you rather walk down a long stretch of haunted road with spiritual protection or speed through in a car without protection?
I'll switch it up. I'll walk down a haunted road without protection and in a speeding car with protection.
Whoa.
Oh wow.
So you do
Wait.
both.
I'll do both.
Why?
But he will
Oh
switch
my
them
God.
up.
Yeah.
What? Okay. There's a lot to unpack here.
There's so much to unpack.
Why
Right.
would you walk
Yeah.
in a haunted road without protection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel I need protection in a speeding car. But I guess that's not like on a spiritual level, I guess. Like just like kind of...
No, that's... Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Because it's just...
I think I'm
dangerous.
more... if I'm on a road and I'm pacing, I'm not speeding through, I feel there's more calm. Kind of more calm, more taking my time, assessing the situation. And I feel that you do have your own inner protection as is. And then in a speeding car, basically, I don't know, I just feel not as in control in the car if it's speeding. So yeah.
That's interesting, yeah?
That is actually a very logical way to approach that question.
I mean, I'm in agreement with you for that, but driving down a haunted stretch of road, right, is a big no-no for me.
Yeah.
Even driving down. I presume in this scenario, I'm alone, right? So I will probably walk, because driving down without protection, then your mind will be like, okay, this road haunted. Then I'll drive faster. Then I'll be more prone to accident. Then plus the fact that I don't even have protection, then it goes, haha, got no protection. I'm going to haunt you. I'm going to appear in front of you and then you crash and then you die. So I'll take my chances. I'll walk. I think haunted road probably no cars. So you just walk. Then you got protection.
I actually am in agreement with you on this one. But I am in agreement with you because also, as you've pointed out, I'm quite oblivious to stuff. Yeah. So I think if I know I have protection with me and I'm walking down the road, after a while, my own mind will just like not really focus on what's around me. And because I am so oblivious to everything, I'll be like, oh, eventually I'll just start thinking about something else.
Yeah.
Like doing like my grocery list in my head.
Yeah.
And then before I know it, I'll be at the end of the road. I'll be like, oh yeah, okay, cool.
Well, what if you have like, you know, some people helping you out with the grocery lists while you're walking? Like,
You had nothing
you
on your
need
mind.
to have cabbage on that list too.
Personal shopper.
They're quite...
Here's what will probably happen. I will be freaked out, and then I would like to believe immediately I'll go, oh no, they're right. we are running out of cabbage. Oh God. Oh, and oh my God, they're right. Yeah.
Hey,
So I hope so. I hope that is the extent of me getting disturbed.
I've actually ride down a long winding road. I'm not sure, Jalan Ibadat, the area. So it's a very long stretch, right? From Lim Chu Kang all the way to the end until you get into the highway. So I've ride down, of course, with prayers and protection. So technically, did I speed? I didn't speed. I was just riding safely, but with protection. But I would, yes, walk down a long and winding road, but with protection. Because I think at the end of it, if I know that I'm protected, I should not be worried.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have this very strong feeling that as long as I'm protected, if it appears in front of me, it cannot do anything to me. Yeah.
At this point, I'm just worried about wild animals.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, that's another thing to consider. That's a good point.
I've cycled through Lorong Halus in the middle of the night, just with one friend. Then we go there ghost hunting, right? Then what we get a pack of wild dogs attacking us.
Yeah.
They were chasing us like they were ready to bite, and we were like, pedal faster, bro, pedal faster.
Not what you're looking for.
Yeah, not what I'm looking for.
See, you should have followed the lead of the guy in this episode. Drop your bike and just run. No, it will just be faster.
No, because the auntie was holding onto the bike handle.
Yeah, that's why.
But the dog never, so I can run.
Yeah, okay. Good point. We've reached the end of the road for this episode. Let's cap it off with a morbid fact of the day, Kyle.
So right, in Taiwan, there's this highway called Beiyi Highway. It's actually a site of many, many fatal accidents that anyone driving along the road can actually see a lot of unburned or partially burned pieces of ghost paper. It's the one that, when you finish burning, then you throw. So it's quite common to see that there.
It's gonna be so creepy to drive.
Yeah,
around.
I mean, when you drive past and you see all this paper, even though you may not see anything, I think the first reaction is, oh my God, why are the papers here? Right.
It has the same meaning for you, right? You're just like, why?
Yeah.
First thing you think, even in Singapore, you see, you'll be like, why?
Yeah.
So even if you didn't know the history of that place, like, oh.
What about you, Art?
If I saw that,
Yeah, you saw like pieces of burnt paper.
I would automatically know why it was burning.
But would you do anything? Will you be like extra on guard?
I think I would just be aware what's going on and probably just, quietly, mentally pay my respects to what I see and then be more conscientious of that space and what I'm doing. Yeah, if I'm driving, then I would be conscientious to drive even more careful through the space.
I'm not sure about you, but have you had a situation where you're driving past and then you see, a funeral procession going on, or people are doing prayers at the side of the road, and you just tend to slow down a little bit, kind of like give them a bit of respect, and then after that you move faster as you pass by them. I have that habit.
Yeah.
I mean, because I feel like if I'm really loud when I'm riding or driving, and then I'm just going speedy, I'm just scared I might scare them or kind of disturb their offerings at the point of time. It's just me.
Yeah, I agree. But for us, we would just try to avoid lah.
Yeah.
When you see it, you can hear it. Especially for Chinese one, it's very loud. So
Yeah,
you
it's
can
very
hear it,
loud,
you
yeah.
avoid it.
Oh, yeah.
Even for like
Myself
the
as
void deck
well.
one, because it's bad luck lah, in a sense.
is it?
It's not good to be facing it. I don't know if you heard of it. Because in Singapore, like we do like for the Chinese, we do funerals at the void deck, right? So the casket is there. Then sometimes you can see the photo of the deceased. So they say try not to see the photo of the deceased, or don't have like weird thoughts when you're looking at them lah. Like just avoid at all costs. At all costs.
I've heard of that saying. I've heard of my parents saying, "Oh, when you see or hear that, try not to watch." or hear."
Don't watch. It's bad luck lah. It's
Right,
purely
now I
bad
know
luck.
why.
If I see whether it's a funeral procession or like a wake at the void deck, I tend to walk around.
Yeah,
walk around.
I think it's less fear or superstition. I think it's just respect, and not just for the deceased, but for the people who are mourning this person as well. This is a time for them to be with their family and their loved ones. So I figure instead of even getting into their line of sight, I just, as far as possible, try to avoid it.
I think lately I acknowledge it. I used to avoid it, but I think now, like if I'm walking through like a funeral, I just acknowledge and then I just move on. Yeah, it's kind of like an acknowledgement of like respect, light, and then move on. Yeah.
That's actually a really healthy approach to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how art comes in with the honking and the acknowledgement.
Yeah.
While we are like, keep it quiet, walk around.
No, I think that's where we're a great balance because we have like different insights.
Yeah.
And I think each time I come back, it's like I have like a personal growth from like the last time I seen you guys because it's like I do feel in the last few months I've kind of have a different energy when it comes to dealing with energies. It's just very it's like very beautiful in a way, and also I'm just kind of more in tune in a more centered way.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna start trying that actually. Just politely acknowledge. That sounds very sweet, and it also sounds like because death is always such a taboo, but it's a natural part of life. So yeah, I think I might start doing that from now on.
I think like it's part of your personal growth lah. Like people will reach a certain point where it's just normal. Death is what makes life beautiful.
Yeah.
But I'm not there yet. I scared.
Right, so thank you once again, Art, for joining us. And thank you to all of you for tuning in to Tales from Incredible Tales. New episodes go up on every week on MeWatch, meLISTEN, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
My name is Utt.
My name is Wayne.
My name is Kyle.
And my name is Raihan, and we will see you next time.